This is my review of the Samsung Galaxy S4. This device is pretty freaking awesome. As you can see, it says that I have an update to install. My battery is a little too low to install it though. I've been going 1 day, an hour, and 50 minutes, and I can tell you that I've been using this phone for quite some time. As you can see, my screen was on for over an hour. A little over an hour and a half actually. And I have been playing Hill Climb Racing, I've been playing games, I've been texting, I've been tweeting, I've been using this phone a lot. It's been my daily device. My phone number is currently on it, but it won't be for too much longer. I am going back to my HTC One, and that'll be in a later video. So, the update, let's talk about that for just a second. If I go here to About Device, I have version MDC, Android 4.2.2. The update only adds a couple enhancements and add-ons to what's currently available, not anything brand spanking new to worry about. As of the moment, I'm not gonna install it at the moment. And I have custom recovery, so it may or may not work. I really like the screen size. It has a 4.99, pretty much 5-inch HD AMOLED screen. I will say one thing, in direct sunlight, the screen is nearly impossible to see. Even if you were to take your brightness and drag it all the way up, at night, it's very, very hard to see what's on the screen. Or, I mean, during the day when there's sunlight, it's very, very hard to see what's on the screen. So, that is one complaint I have with this device that the HTC One does not have a problem with. Battery life's pretty good, very comparable to other phones. I'm going to try not to mention other phones like the HTC One during this video, simply because it's not a comparison between the two. This is my thoughts on the Samsung Galaxy S4. Now, one thing I really like about the Galaxy S4 is by default, you have your quick toggles up here. So you can turn on screen mirroring, power saving, blocking mode, Bluetooth, and you just simply tap it to turn the Bluetooth on, and you simply tap it again to turn the Bluetooth off. So it's pretty freaking awesome. And to top it off, this is something that's, been out for Android 4.2, is this. You've got your quick toggles. So you can easily go on something and go, I want to turn on airplane mode, or I want to turn on driving mode. You can pretty much turn anything on and off, and you can edit it, and you can choose, like, maybe I want airplane mode more than I want Wi-Fi, and you could just change it around. Like gesture mode, put it right there. As you can see, you can realign them. So I like that, I really do. As of the moment, I don't think you can just totally get rid of it. You can just move them around. So if you use air view more than you use the sound option, then obviously choose that. And what's pretty cool is whenever you do have it right here, you can long press on it and it takes you to that corresponding setting. Vice versa. If you drag it down from here and you hold down GPS, it takes you to that. I really love that. Instead of going to menu, settings, more things, location services, and I really do like that. This video is my complete and honest feelings against the Samsung Galaxy S4. So far, honestly, I like this device a lot, but there are some downsides to it, most definitely. And these are downsides that I cannot ignore, I cannot look past, and which is why my wife will be getting this phone as soon as I'm done with this review and a couple other videos that I need to do. If we go here to settings, and then, well, first of all, you have to figure out where stuff's at. So connections, my device, you've got to go, okay, where is this? Where's that? We'll go to application manager. And I want to show you something. 7.4 gigs free, 2.3 used. Now, I will honestly tell you that if we go to menu, settings, storage, this will give you a very good idea of what all is available. I have 1.25 gigabytes in applications. Right now they're sorted by size. So I've installed one of my newest favorite games, Field Runners 2. Google Chrome is installed by default. Runtastic Pro, I installed that. SwiftKey, I installed that. I'll just give you a good idea of what all apps are on here. Some of these came with it. Some of them I installed. This is rooted, and I did a video on how to root it. I can link to that video below in the description, below the like button of this video. That is a quick thing to point out real quick. On quadrant scores, this device gets about 12,000. This device and HTC One both are rocking the same exact processor, so you're going to get about the same performance out of both devices. The clock speed on this one is 1.9 gigahertz because even though it's using the same exact processor as HTC One, HTC decided to downclock the processor on that phone, and this one they kept it at the normal 1.9. Now, if you're thinking about getting HTC One, that's just underclocked. With the rooted kernel, you could easily bring that back up to what the processor is capable of 1.9 gigahertz. So you're getting the full 1.9 gigahertz. You don't have to be rooted to unlock that extra 0.2% CPU performance, which in real world usage isn't going to be too much. But anyways, back to what we're talking about. I am going to be improving these videos. I watch people like MKBHD and his reviews are flawless and way better than mine. And I'm going to get better. I'm going to write out everything I should say, and I'm going to improve my reviews. It's just people really want this video, and I need to get it out there. So I'm doing how I normally do things. So 7.5 gigs free right now. If I was to install Batman, that would be over a gigabyte. Over a gigabyte. If I was to install Asphalt, that'd be around a gigabyte. You get the idea. Now you have 5 gigabytes. What if you want to install another app that's quite large, a game? You're going to get to the point where you have to uninstall apps in order to make up space for more stuff. Now, this does have removable storage, a micro SD card underneath the backplate. So you do have a micro SD card, which I don't have one in there. All you can do is store your videos, pictures, ROMs, ROM backups, pretty much just that kind of stuff on it. You cannot store apps on it by default, meaning unless you're an advanced user that has a rooted device. I've heard there are ways to store apps on your SD card, but that's only if you have custom recovery, you partition your SD card off, so some space is only usable by the apps. Sometimes you can make it towards your external SD card appears to be SD card 0, meaning your phone thinks it's your internal storage when it's actually your external. So there are hacks and mods to get it to go to that, but I've never actually even done that. So that's pretty advanced stuff. I have never done that. So for the person that's going to get this phone, not root it, or maybe like me and root it without hacking it like crazy and modifying a lot of stuff, you cannot store any apps on the external SD card. Only pictures, music, movies, videos, zips that you're gonna flash, stuff like that can be stored on there. Not your apps and not the app data, which sometimes app data is pretty freaking high. So yeah, this phone does not give you very much storage for apps. That's another reason why I'm handing this device over to my wife, and I'm going to enjoy the 25 gigabytes of available space for apps and app data on the HTC One. I know I'm talking about other devices and etc., but hear me out. This is still a good phone. If you're someone that does not install a lot of apps or play very many games, this is definitely the phone for you. Now, hear me out. If there is a 32 gigabyte variant of this available someday on your carrier, which this one happens to be Sprint, and if you go with that device, that argument is no longer valid because you then have more than 20 gigabytes of available space for apps because it may say 32 just like this says 16, but it comes with so much bloatware that you literally have like S this, S that, S this, S that, Samsung this, Samsung that. So much bloatware that it takes up like a lot of space of that 16 gigs. But if you have a 32 gig, that my argument would have to change. You would be able to store a lot of apps on your internal storage and then store your movies and pictures and music and etc. on an external SD card, and then this would take the cake as far as like as much storage as you get on a device. So as of the 16 gig variant, the only one available, you don't get much space. I'm not going to carry on any longer about that. Another thing I really like about this device is the fact that you have 3 buttons. You've got a touch-sensitive menu button, so some apps like Facebook that refuse to put a little menu icon, which means it's ICS compliant, up on the top of the screen somewhere or anywhere on the screen, you have a little 3-dot overflow menu thing. It's like literally like part of your screen's being wasted by a menu button since the app won't update to ICS standards and higher. So this very nice that this one has a built-in menu button. Also, you have a home button, and when you hold it, you have all of your recent stuff. You can close out this like that, or you can press this and clear them all out at once, which is pretty nice. You can also quickly jump to Google Now and ask it a question and etc. Or you can tap this and it takes you to your recent thing. Now, let me go ahead and clear the memory and show you that by default, it takes up almost a gig of the internal memory, and you have 2 gigs available. So you pretty much have less than a full gigabyte for like multitasking. That's Touch Wiz is so bloated, it's not funny. Now, before you call me a fanboy, before you say something negative, I used my Note 2 for a long time. I loved that phone, and I still do. I love the screen real estate. I love the expandable storage because I do a lot of pictures and videos and etc. I love the expandable storage. I love the screen size. I love the quad-core processor. I loved everything about it, and that was my daily device for a long time. So, I am not locked down to a certain, like Samsung, HTC, etc. I install CyanogenMod, AOKP, I install AOSP ROMs, so I make my HTC One look just like my S4. So I am not locked down to a certain thing. Some people that get used to all these Samsung features, they pretty much get locked down to Samsung. Like multitasking. Hold down the back button. You can bring your internet over here. And then you can go over here and you can take Quick Pick and put it down here. And you can have completely separate processes running. Now I don't know why it brings... Okay, that goes away. So you just tap that and that brings that up. But you can literally just, each thing is doing its own thing, which is pretty nice. And then you can resize one and, use this, or you can go up and use that. Now, AOKP is looking to bring that to their ROM, but as of right now, it's a Samsung exclusive. So maybe you're somebody like Zenomax that really, really, really loves that feature and pretty much has to have Samsung. You have to have TouchWiz because you're used to those features and you couldn't live without them. And holding back button takes that away. Now you're just doing one thing. Well, okay, so you move this around and then you can press X and close it out. So you're just doing one thing. I honestly do not use that because without a custom ROM or a mod that enables everything, you can only do a certain amount of things. And you can click edit and you can go, maybe I don't ever want to use Gmail. Or maybe I do like to use Gmail. So it's kind of limited, but it's there for you guys that have gotten used to that and need to have that feature. Again, that's somebody that's locked to a Samsung device and will flame any other phone out there because it doesn't have, Samsung exclusive features like air this and air swipe and air, all that stuff I don't use. Let's just smart screen, smart rotation. Okay, smart stay, I will not lie, is a very nice thing, but even other devices are including auto sleep where it knows if you're looking at it and it turns the screen off based on whether you're looking at the screen or not. Smart scroll, like you can scroll up and down a page with your eyes. Smart pause. Device detects that you're facing away from the screen. That's nice. But again, if I sit there and I enable all these options and I get used to them, I'm not going to want to install a ROM on this device that's AOSP. I'm not going to want to go to the Nexus 4 or the next Nexus phone or any other phone for that matter because I'm going to be used to those features and I'm going to be locked down to Samsung. So I refuse to get used to stuff like that. I just absolutely refuse it. So... Again, it's all based on preferences. It really is. So you're going to get the same battery life with this phone and HTC One. Actually, I've even gotten longer battery life out of my HTC One because the fact that the 1.9 gigahertz processor found in here is downclocked to 1.7. And see, okay, I'm gonna do a comparison video this week, both phones side by side, explaining why I like one phone more than the other. Or say, for example, certain things about this phone. I really like this, but there's a leak of the new version of Sense 5 that has this enabled. So then that'll be no longer like, this won't take the cake over the HTC One as far as that. Same thing goes with this phone. If there's a 32 gig version, I can't say you have limited storage like you do right now. Right now you have about 8 to 9 gigs of available space to store apps. On the HTC One you have a lot more. But if you get a 32 gig version of this phone, that argument's no longer valid. That it's just not, because you have more space. Let's talk about the camera. This is where it gets different. Alright, so you have this, where I've tapped it thinking that I accidentally enabled the front-facing camera, and you can drag this around, and you can resize it. Or I thought you could. Yeah, you can resize it. So only about that big. And then you can, talking to my Rode VideoMic Pro here. So you can like talk into it and record stuff, and it's cool, but I don't know. That's, it is what it is. And then there's the front facing camera. You can see my ugly mug. Let's go ahead and change that. I don't want you to see that very long. So you have mode, which is absolutely ridiculously insane. There is more stuff in here than the average person will ever need. You've got auto, beauty face, best shot, best faced, sound in shot, drama, animated photo, rich tone HDR, eraser, so you can take a picture, and if someone gets in that picture, you can erase them out of it, panorama, sports, night. Pretty much what I go with is auto. And then for settings, you have photo size. I like to change mine to this right here, which makes it a wide picture. Say I was to take a picture with this one and add it to this video. Look, see, you got black borders, so it's not widescreen. I like having widescreen photos, so when I put them in my videos, it fills the whole screen up. So burst shot, that's pretty cool. You just hold this down, and it takes up to 20 consecutive photos. So if you're at a sports event and your target's moving, you can get 20 shots really quickly and pick the best one and upload that one. So that's pretty freaking awesome. I do like that, and all the phones are coming with that these days. So metering, ISO, how high can it go? That's the question. 800 is the highest it can go. So not very high. Anti-shake on, auto night detection. So the video camera, you can go 1920 by 1080. You can do wow, that's something I've never seen in the phone before. 1440 by 1080, which is 4:3 ratio. Then you have 1280 by 720. And it's nice to give you the ratio, letting you know, hey, that's not going to be widescreen. That's going to be standard definition. So you're going to have black bars on most of today's monitors. Video stabilization. I had that off. Did not know that. You can take pictures while recording. The pictures you take will be wider than the videos you record because of the image algorithm. Okay. So GPS tag, you can let it know where the location is. Review, as you take a picture and it shows you what you saw. The volume key, you can zoom in and out. I will show you that. Exposure value, flash, voice control, reset. So you can zoom in on the picture. Oh, I keep doing that. I'm so used to my HTC. Alright. So you hold the volume, you press the volume button to zoom in and out. So that's pretty cool. I do like that. One thing I really like about this is, like a lot of phones these days, you've got two completely separate buttons. Like with stock Android, you have to actually go down here and choose whether you want your camera or your video camera or etc. And with this, you can actually go, I want to take a video. And you can instantly start recording a video. And then you can pause that video and like move the camera around, press record again, and then you can pause, bring it over here, press record again, and then stop. And when you go to play it back, and you can instantly start recording a video. And then you press record again, and then you can press record again. All the pauses will be taken out because it wasn't recording at that time. And then you can just quickly snap a picture without changing the modes, which is very nice. Back to so this is where my reviews are not at all organized, and I just kind of cover everything that's on my mind at that time. The back button. You've got menu, you've got the home button, and you've got the back button. I don't know why I forget to. I have ADHD, and I get to talking, and I get carried away about something else, and it's just how I do it. So the battery percentage, that's pretty easy to enable. You just go down here to display right here, and then you go to the display battery percentage, and you check that. So it has screen texture, screen tone, font size, font style. So Samsung Sans, yes. Okay, so LED indicator, what options do you have? You have a low battery one, notifications, voice recording, charging. This phone does have an IR blaster. It is located right here, and it will control your TV. I actually uploaded a video of me controlling my TV. It's just basically an app called Watch On right here, and you can just point it at your TV, and you can control your TV. You can change shows. You can press a remote icon, and you can jump to your DVR. You got this, and then for TV you have this, and then this, and then this. So I did a separate video on that. So the IR blaster is pretty freaking awesome, and I enjoy it. I don't use it a ton, but I can definitely see it coming in handy, or like being someplace where there's a bunch of TVs and you're just like changing the channel and everybody's going, what the heck's going on? Then you have your 3.5 millimeter, You have your 3.5 millimeter headphone jack. You have your noise canceling microphone. For the sensors, you've got your proximity sensors. They're two little lights up there, or things up there. You've got your front facing camera, and then this. Not sure what that is. That might be, oh, that's the LED indicator. Okay. Sorry about that. On the bottom, you have your bottom microphone, and then your normal typical charging port. And on the back, you have the speaker, which I can honestly say, while watching a video, you're doing your best to get the sound to come towards you, and it's not that loud. I don't like watching YouTube videos on this device. I don't like watching videos on this device for that matter, because while you're watching the video, you can't have your phone down like this with the audio coming right at you, because you can't see what the person's doing on the screen. So I don't like this device as far as media consumption, watching YouTube videos and etc. One quick thing about this is if you go here to menu, you can go to view type, and by default, yours will probably be customizable grid. Change it to alphabetical grid, and all of your apps will be in alphabetical order. You can easily press uninstall and go, I don't want this app anymore. I'll go ahead and delete it. I don't want this app anymore. I'll go ahead and delete it. And then you just press back. So that's pretty nice. I do like that a lot. You can hide certain applications. Say you'll never use S-Memo, S-Translator, S-Voice, Samsung Apps, Samsung Hub, Samsung Link, Scout, S-Health. Done. So now in your app drawer, none of those apps are showing up. And you can just go here and you can unhide them or show hidden applications, and it shows them right there. Another cool thing is you can quickly jump to the apps that you've downloaded. So stuff that you downloaded on your own without the phone doing it for you. Now, obviously, I didn't download freaking Sprint Music Plus or Sprint TV. That might have been an update from the Play Store as soon as you turn the phone on, and that's why it's saying downloaded. The positive sides of this phone are definitely the removable battery. Zero Limit makes a 9,300 mAh extended battery for the Note 2 and a 7,000 mAh extended battery for the S3. They're probably going to make an extended battery for the S4, and if you're going to be gone for a few days or somewhere remote where there's not really any power, you can put that extended battery on there and have a battery that lasts you all week long without ever needing to go to a power source like a wall to plug it in and charge it. So the removable battery is a very, very big plus. I will give it that. Again, I loved my Note 2. I still love it. And I'm going on a trip here soon, and I'll be getting the 9,300 milliamp hour extended battery for my Note 2. I'll be activating my Note 2, and I'll be using that on my trip because I want a battery that's going to last me all week long because I'm going to be going all different types of places, and I'm not going to be somewhere long enough to charge a battery from dead to full. There's just no way. So the removable battery is a huge plus. The 13 megapixel sensor takes incredible pictures. From what I've heard, it doesn't have little springs inside it like the HTC One, so your videos can be quite shaky. So it doesn't have that. It does have LED flash. It's not a wide angle sensor. It's not. The front facing camera is 2.0 megapixels. It's not wide angle, meaning if I hold my phone like this, it's going to get like that much in the video. If I get my HTC One, hold it in the same spot, it's going to get like that much in the video. So I much prefer having a wide angle sensor as I do a lot of front facing camera videos. So this has the win. It takes the cake on the camera. 13 megapixels if you use your camera. Like if you use the camera on your phone more than you do videos, that would be very hard for me to tell you not to get this phone. The 13 megapixel camera, it takes some super sharp pictures, and if you were to zoom in on a certain part, it would look crystal clear without any pixelation or it looking distorted or anything. This camera is simply amazing when it comes to pictures. For videos, that's a different story. It does pretty good back-facing videos, but it doesn't have built-in image stabilization as far as like, you know, springs in there to help it with that. And if you're going with front-facing camera, this has the worst front-facing camera out of them. But you do get the advantage of using the front and the back at the same exact time. So if you're trying to like record something and show your reaction, this device, of course, wins in that. There are lots and lots and lots of positive things about this device, and it would take a long time to cover them all. On the same side, there are some negative things. Not very much storage for apps, and I install a lot of apps. Not a wide angle sensor, and this one's 2.0 compared to the HTC One is 2.1. So I use the front-facing camera way more than I use the back camera. That is the honest to God truth. I use the front camera way more than the back, and I use video way more than I do pictures. So for what I use my phone for, this is not my preferred device. If you don't install many apps and you take way more pictures than videos, it would be hard to tell you not to get this device. I love this phone. It's super, super light. A lot of times I'll forget that I'm even carrying it in my pocket. It's so freaking light. And without the battery in it, you feel like you're holding a demo unit that has the guts stripped out of it. That is the honest to God truth. And there's that notification light letting me know that I just got an email. So this device is incredibly light. You hardly know what's in your pocket. If you've seen one of my other Galaxy S4 videos, my unboxing, at the end I compared it to the S3, and they're pretty much, if you're thinking this phone's way bigger than the S3, you're wrong. All they did was pretty much maximize the screen real estate. I mean, almost edge to edge screen. So it's just, if anything, it's just slightly tiny tad bit bigger than the S3. So if you're looking for an upgrade from the S3, I can say go for it. If you don't have an upgrade for a while, don't worry about it. A lot of the features that people are stuck to Samsung devices, like the multi-window, the S stuff, the smart view, all the smart stuff, all that stuff's coming to the S3 and the Note 2 via software updates. So don't stress. It's a nice phone, but you're not going to notice any dramatic, like, holy cow, I missed out on so much. If you have an S3, you're still doing pretty good, and you will for a while. But if you have an upgrade available, and you're debating between getting this or HTC One, like I've said, look at my review on HTC One, look at my review of this phone. If you do a lot of media consumption, like watching YouTube videos, listening to Spotify, etc., if you lay this down like that, that speaker's covered up. covered up and you can't hear what's coming out of it. And you've literally got to have this facing at you, and you can't see what's happening on the screen. So this does not win in that area. If you take a lot of pictures, the camera's amazing. If you need that expandable storage, definitely go with this device. Again, you cannot store apps on that expandable storage. You have to use your built-in 8 to 9 gigabytes of available space that you get after signing into your Google account and without installing any apps or taking any pictures. You get about 8 to 9 gigs. So I've repeated myself in some things. I'm gonna go ahead and end this review now. If I think of some more things that I didn't cover, I will make an updated follow-up video. I'm going to improve. I'm going to actually be trying out what other people do in writing out everything I'm going to talk about. I don't know if they record and then talk over the recording, or if they record the audio and then record video and just match it up with that, or if they're listening to the audio that they recorded while they're shooting the new video. I don't know how they do it. I'm going to study it, and I'm going to do better reviews and higher quality stuff, because I don't want to do the same stuff forever and ever and ever without ever improving. So this has been my full review of the S4. I honestly can't wait to give this to my wife and use the HTC One as my daily device, simply because the battery life is just as good, if not better, on the HTC One as this phone. Now, again, if you throw an extended battery on there, that's kind of an invalid argument. If you get a 32 gig version of this phone, that's another invalid argument. I'm getting off topic. This review is over. If you enjoyed it, please give it a like. If you didn't enjoy it, let me know. Leave a comment, and I will listen to it. I know that I need to improve, and trust me, I've been using this device for about a week now, maybe a little bit more, and ever since I did my unboxings the day I got it. So I can honestly give you my fair opinions of this phone. It's a good phone. I'm done. I'm not talking anymore. If you want to follow me on Twitter, links will be in the description below. I have 2 other channels. I have one where I post gameplay videos, commentaries, etc. And then I have another where I post videos from my HTC One's front-facing 1080p 2.1 megapixel wide-angle camera. So all links to that will be in the description. This is what Josh do, and I'm out.